If you are burnout, it is not because you are weak, and it is definitely not because you suddenly forgot how to be competent. High achieving professionals do not burn out because they are incapable. They burn out because they are misaligned. And most people never tell you that. Let me explain. You are not new to hard work. You have handled pressure before. You have led teams. You have delivered results. You have stayed late, fixed problems, cleaned up messes no one saw coming. You are not fragile. So when burnout hits, it feels confusing because this is not your first demanding season. And yet, this one feels different. You took the vacation. You logged off for a weekend. You even told yourself, I just need rest. But Monday came back heavy. The exhaustion was not physical, it was emotional, it was existential. It sounded like this: why does this role feel heavier than it used to be? Why am I succeeding but secretly disengaged? Why do I feel like I am performing instead of being? That right there is the real signal. But we mislabel it. We call it burnout. We prescribe rest. We book spa days. We reduce meetings. And none of it touches the root. Because the root is not overwork. It is internal conflict. Here is the myth no one challenges. Burnout is not always about doing too much. Sometimes it's about being in the wrong place while doing it well. Let that sit. High achievers are especially vulnerable to this. Sometimes it is about being in the wrong place while doing it well. Let that sit. High achievers are especially vulnerable to this because you can perform anywhere. You can adapt. You can execute. You can learn fast, which means you can survive misalignment for a long time. And survival can look like success. You can get promoted. You get praised. You get more responsibility. And slowly, your identity fuses with output. Now, here is the dangerous part. When identity fuses with performance, you stop asking, is this aligned? And you start asking, am I still winning? Those are very different questions. You can be winning externally and shrinking internally. And that shrinking is exhausting. Let us open a loop here. Why does rest not fix this? We will come back to that. First, let us diagnose what is actually happening. Burnout from overwork feels like depletion. Burnout from misalignment feels like disconnection. Overwork says, I need a break. Misalignment says, this does not feel like me anymore. Overwork improves with time off. Misalignment returns the moment you re-enter the environment. You know the feeling. You open your laptop after leave, and instead of clarity, you feel dread. Not because the work is hard, but because something about it feels off. Maybe your values evolved. Maybe your capacity matured. Maybe your season changed, but your role did not. Here is the core insight. Burnout is often identity performance misalignment. You are performing at a high level in a role that no longer reflects who you are becoming. And the tension between who you are and what you are rewarded for doing create for and the tension between who you are and what you are rewarded for doing creates friction. Friction drains you. Friction drains energy. Now, let us go back to the rest question. Rest helps when your body is tired. It does not help when your identity is conflicted. Imagine wearing shoes 2 sizes small. You can sit down. you can take breaks. But the moment you stand again, the discomfort returns. The solution is not rest, it's resizing. And resizing is not quitting. This is where high achievers panic, because the moment they feel misalignment, they jump to extremes. I need to resign. I need a new industry. I need to start over. But sometimes reinvention is avoidance. Sometimes what you need is realignment, and those are not the same thing. Realignment asks, what exactly is off? Is it the scope, the leadership culture, the values mismatch, the decision-making authority, the season of life you are in? Or is it the fact that you have outgrown the version of yourself that accepted this role? Notice how precise that is. High performers hate vague problems. So we do not solve this vaguely. Now, let me give you a metaphor. Have you ever watched someone play a character for too long in a TV series? At first, it fits. Then seasons go by. The actor grows, but the script does not. And suddenly, the character feels forced. That is misalignment. You're still reading lines, but they no longer sound like you. And the longer you perform them, the more tired you feel. Not because acting is hard, but because pretending is exhausting. That is why high achievers burn out quietly. You do not fall apart. You keep functioning. You just feel detached. And because you are still delivering results, no one thinks anything is wrong, including you, until the exhaustion turns into irritability, emotional numbness, loss of creativity, resentment towards responsibilities you once asked for. That is not weakness, that is data. Burnout is not failure. It is feedback. It is your internal system saying the current structure no longer matches your identity. Now, here is the empowering part. Misalignment is diagnosable, and once diagnosed, it is correctable, but not through impulsivity, through clarity. You do not need hype, you need a framework. Before you make any drastic move, ask, am I tired or am I misaligned? If I removed the title and expectations, would I still choose this type of work? Is my exhaustion coming from effort or from emotional suppression? Because quitting a role without understanding the root can land you in the next wrong one. And high achievers do not need escape. They need precision. Let's recap. You are not burned out because you are weak. You are not incapable. You are not behind. And if you are high performing and exhausted, there is likely a gap between who you are becoming and what your current role demands you to be. And closing the gap does not require chaos. It requires structured realignment. In 4 to 6 weeks, with the right process, you can gain clarity on whether you need reinvention or realignment. In 4 to 6 weeks, with the right process, you can gain clarity on whether you need reinvention or realignment. Diagnose the real source of your professional misalignment. Identify your next aligned strategic move and build a transition roadmap that protects your income, credibility, and identity. No hype, just precision. Because sustainable success is not built on endurance alone. It is built on alignment. If this resonated, stay with me this week. We are going deeper. Tomorrow, we are talking about what it really means to be successful on paper but empty inside. And if you ever thought everything looks good, so why does it feel wrong? That conversation will matter. You are not broken. You are evolving. And evolution always feels uncomfortable before it feels aligned. I'll see you in the next one.